Blueprint for perfect. Okay, those of you who don't know me, I am Lisa Turner from CET Freedom, and we are a spiritual and consciousness raising organization specializing in assisting and supporting visionary and conscious leaders make a positive impact in the world by bringing their genius and brilliance to their work. And what we do is we remove the inner friction, whatever that is, to them expressing themselves and their purpose in the most empowering and impactful way, so that they can live a life of passion, purpose, and profit. And we do that using a variety of modalities, including our signature technique, conscious emotional transformation. We also use a lot of high esoterics and energy wizardry, as well as linguistic alchemy and a whole bunch of other modalities and things. Anything that works, we will use it. That's how we go. Alrighty, so Blueprint of Perfect Health. So why is it important? Why is this important? I guess it seems really obvious that we want to have good health. So why do we want to bring this idea of the blueprint of perfect health? So first of all, I always have this little discomfort using this term perfect, because it suggests that the ideal is that we all live in this optimum state of the health of a 25-year-old right the way through till we're 180, and we just get so bored that we decide to die anyway. And I actually don't think that is the idea of living and life. I think it is, there are times in our life when our health is and should be different. And our body is one of the ways we interact with the world. So our body is important, and it is key, obviously, to us expressing ourselves. And if we have low health and low energy, it impacts our ability to express ourselves. Now, sometimes, this might sound a little bit counterintuitive. Sometimes that's not necessarily a bad thing, because it can be one of the mechanisms for our inner guidance system. But I'm probably getting ahead of myself, because here's what we're going to learn today. So would it be useful to you to understand why we get sick, the purpose of illness, and how we can transmute and transform that back into us living and expressing our purpose? Would it be useful to know what is the root, like how to identify the root cause of our illness so that we can have even greater health? If that is useful to you, or more people are joining us, that's cool. So if that's the sort of thing that's useful to you, then let me know. So the first little caveat I want to put in here is that in the spiritual community, there's been this wave of what I sometimes call a little bit of toxic spirituality, where this idea of, unless you are perfectly happy all the time, honestly, that would be slightly maniacal, as I was demonstrating there, perfectly happy, perfectly healthy, perfectly joyful all the time, 100%, never down. And that is not how life is meant to be. Like somebody once said to me, oh, I haven't got energy all the time. And I said, well, you don't want energy all the time. You want no energy when, or not no, low energy when it's bedtime. Because if you have high energy and you can't sleep, that's also a problem, right? So you want to have just the right amount of energy, for what you're about to do. There's a whole other topic on the idea of the emotional response cycle, but let's talk about the physical response cycle. So we have we talk about, sometimes it's the 4 quadrants, sometimes it's talked about as the 4 bodies. So we have the emotional body, or the spiritual body, mental body, emotional body, physical body. So if we think about the idea that we're a spiritual being aiming to express ourselves through the physical reality, we will also express ourselves through the mental and emotional body. In some sort of slightly interesting spiritual realms, there's this idea of, how to explain this? So there's this idea of that the only thing that matters is the spiritual, and that we can completely master the physical just with our minds. And if we think happy enough thoughts, then we'll have perfect health, perfect money, perfect finances, perfect emotions. And that isn't strictly, not only is it not true, it's not useful, and it's not actually the way we create and demonstrate brilliance and joy in our life. So when we think about our health, we have this idea of that from the spiritual, so we have our spiritual body, and our spiritual body is our life's purpose, it's our mission, it's our soul's purpose, it's our big, joyful why we're here on the planet. Then that purpose moves into the mental body, and it's here where we have our strategy, our planning, our tangible thoughts. It's also where we have our less tangible thoughts, our kind of less concrete thoughts, where we have more vague ideas in the mental body. This is where we will do our strategies and planning. Okay, so your life's purpose, the intention is that you express it from your physical, your spiritual body into your mental body, then, and your soul, you see your life's purpose, soul's purpose. I always think it's your soul's purpose in your spiritual body, then it moves into your life's purpose, like in this life, then it moves into you expressing it. Spiritual, soul's purpose. Mental, this is where it becomes more tangible. It becomes something like a job or a process, or it's like the things you do. Then it moves into the emotional body. This is where you get passionate about it, where you want to do it. And then it moves into the physical body, where you actually act out the processes, the purposes of, this is where you do the doing so that you're living your life's purpose. So when we are out of alignment with our soul's purpose, the first thing that will happen is our spirit, our soul, our higher self will tell us. And it might tell us that it might give us in dreams, in nudges. If you've got a really great spiritual connection to your higher self, then it will connect and tell you in that way. The other thing that will happen is when you are, so it tells if your spiritual body, your higher self will tell you when you're out of alignment spiritually, with dreams, with visions, with ideas and concepts. Then it will tell you in terms of it'll move from the mental body, and you'll start to get awarenesses and ideas and thoughts that say, maybe I'm out of alignment, maybe I should be doing something different, maybe I should be going in a different direction. And then if you still don't pay attention to it, it moves into the emotional body. And this is where you'll get depressed or sad or angry or hurt, or you're just confused. There'll be all these emotions because you're not living your purpose. Then, if you fail to pay attention to all of those, the spiritual messages, the mental thoughts and nudges, the emotions, then if you still don't pay attention to that, you get it on the physical body. And this is where you might manifest just in a small illness, like a cold or something like that, just says, take a bit of a moment, sit still, have a think. Maybe you'll get some kind of chronic, long, more intense pain. I think a lot of the things that the medics refer to as the psychosomatic things, they often have an emotional, mental, and spiritual component to them. And I do just want to, I know there's some people who have come in a little bit later, so I do just want to drop in this little caveat, which is that I never, actually, I'm going to phrase it like this. So some spiritual people, some spiritual communities talk about like all Western medicine is bad and evil. I definitely think some is less helpful than others, but there is some that is really helpful and really useful. And sometimes you need to approach it from all aspects and all angles. And I think about what I call the triangle of health. It could be a pyramid, I don't know. Now, right at the top or at one corner, because it could be because it's a triangle, maybe it's like the 3 pillars. It's called the 3 pillars of health. So on one of the pillars, or one of the points of the triangle, is your mindset. Now, this is both your mindset and your spiritual expression, but it's also your beliefs. If you believe you're going to get sick, you'll get sick. You're more likely to get sick. If you believe you're going to stay healthy, you're more likely to stay healthy. But there is these other 2 components, and they are the environment and your physical body, and that which includes, and then all of these interact. See? All of these interact. So if you're in an environment where there's lots of toxins, whatever they are that people talk about, and you have it, so the environment is full of things that you believe are toxins, and you believe these toxins are going to damage you, you will suffer the negative experiences of being damaged by toxins. It is entirely feasible using this model. Bear in mind, it's a model. I'm not saying this is a fact at all. Entirely feasible in this model that if you didn't have that belief that A, these were toxins, and B, they were bad for you and going to hurt you, then you could be completely immune to what's going on, some of the things in the environment. So the environment also includes your food, what you eat, but also your physical environment. Are you in a place where it's too hot, too cold? Are you in a place where it's too dry, too humid? The environment is also your food source, because then your food comes into your physical body. So then there's your physical body. This includes both your genetics, your physical structure. There are things that will impact it, and no amount of mindset can get over some of the physical impacts of that. One of the things I think is really important that I see this in our world right now. I see this whole kind of concept of that unless you have perfect health, that, oh, you mustn't have enough high vibration, or you must have asked to get cancer. So I think that is unbelievably rude, disrespectful, and it doesn't honor the person's experience and existence. Okay. Everyone's experience and their existence is maybe someone does have limiting beliefs, but just telling you, oh, you got limiting beliefs, that doesn't actually, that's a bit uncompassionate, right? Like maybe we should have a bit more compassion and understanding about maybe they lived in an environment where they were bombarded with limiting beliefs and their brain took that on, their mindset took that on. Maybe it would be more powerful and impactful to that person to say, hey, maybe there's some things that we could help you and support you to change in your mindset that might assist you. And even that, you need permission to even do that. So we have our triangle of mindset, which includes spiritual and emotions and beliefs. Then we have our physical body with the things that we eat, like do you get enough exercise? Do you move your body enough? Do you stretch? All those things. They will impact your health. And then we have this idea of in the environment, and all of these pieces, these corners of the triangle, will impact your health and your well-being and how healthy you are. So here's how we work at CET Freedom. At Set Freedom, what we do is we work on the idea that the unconscious mind runs the body, and it runs the body from a blueprint of the body. And whatever, if you're running some kind of disease or disorder like cancer, and again, this is just a model, and we are absolutely never saying that what we do should or even can replace interventions by Western medicine. All I'm saying is this: for legal reasons, we can't ever claim to cure anyone. Any person who has had full remission from cancer, multiple sclerosis, fibromyalgia, Crohn's disease, one of my coaches, she's been up at the hospital today having a whole load of bloods done because apparently Crohn's disease in some way affects her liver, and her liver is almost now in the normal range. And it went from, I don't know what the markers mean, but it went from something like 350 and now it's at 38. And I think the normal marker, I might have got the numbers wrong, but I think the ballpark is about right. And now she is like just out, like just a matter of numbers outside of what is considered normal. What did she do? She changed her mindset. She had a full karmic alignment. What she did in her process was, and this is how we work, is we work on the basis that if your body is running or expressing a disease, the blueprint is likely damaged. So what we do is two things. The first thing we do is we find the cause of that damage. And that might be a limiting belief, a whole bunch of negative emotions, some kind of trauma. We find that, then we clear it and repair it using SETs, conscious emotional transformation, which does pretty much what it says on the tin, completely removes, repairs, and restores wherever there is that resistance. The next thing it does, so the first step is we remove the cause of the damage to the blueprint. The next thing we do is we go to I'm going to bring Sochi, and she's coming in really late, but never mind. So then the final thing we do is we bring down the blueprint of perfect or optimal health from where it's stored in the higher self, bring that down, and then the unconscious mind creates the body from the blueprint of perfect health using this repaired blueprint. We then this is just the final tidy up, we then ask the unconscious mind, can it heal the body? We get a yes or no. If we get a no, we do more work. If we get a yes, we ask, can you start now? How long can you take? And we've had people come back with, yeah, I can fully remove fibromyalgia. Yeah, that will take 8 weeks. We've had people who've said, yeah, we can remove multiple sclerosis. That's going to take 6 months. We can remove the symptomology of, and again, no guarantees, and we're absolutely not saying that we can cure anyone. Any cures that happen in our vicinity are entirely coincidental. All of them, 100%. Actually, about 98% of people have got their health result after working with us. If you're interested in learning more about how you can experience a karmic alignment, oh, Finn says thank you. You are welcome. You are so welcome. And I'm about to hop on to another call, which is our call for our Activate and Initiate monthly membership. And if you want to know more about the karmic alignment process, alluded to basically when I talked about getting yourself in alignment with your purpose, finding all the root causes that stop you living your purpose, including physiological and health issues. Drop us a line, just click yes me, and we'll set up. In fact, what I'll do is I'll drop, if you're interested in that, I will drop a link where you can book a call with me. There's a few questions we ask you to fill in first, and that's just so I know what we're going to be talking about. Frequency, activate and initiate. Duration each meeting, activate and initiate, question mark. I think what you're saying is, okay, is the frequency as in how often or how high is the frequency? The frequency is quite high. It's not as high as a karmic alignment. It's not as high as our Transcendence Collective, but it's quite high. But if you're talking about the frequency, the calls are. So we have 2 calls a month they're on a Tuesday at 3, and I think it's the second and fourth Tuesday of the month. But anyway, on Tuesdays, 2 Tuesdays in the month. One call is, and they're about an hour to an hour and a half. One call is on a juicy, esoteric, spiritual topic. Things like tarot, dream interpretation. We go deep into health. We'll do things like the psychic diet. We'll do things like manifestation principles that actually work, which I call the art and science of power, non-wave frequency. Yeah. So are we on the second Tuesday? What Tuesday are we of the month? Let me just go check this. So it is the first and third Tuesday of the month. That's what I'm seeing. Sometimes we have to move it around a bit. No, that's not right. So it's the second and fourth Tuesday of the month. So the first call in the month is some juicy topic that and how to apply it in your life so you get better results. The second call is a transformation call, and we might do things like coaching. We might do a reset where we remove limiting beliefs and negative emotions and trauma. We might do channeling. We might just do Q&A, deep dive on some of the topics we've done. What we also do, and we're a little bit more ad hoc about this, I don't like too much structure. I'm a bit of a flexible girl. The other thing we do is we'll do and I say about 2 to 3 times a year, we'll do a whole day's process online, like a 1-day workshop. It'll be online. And one of those workshops that we have planned is the health energy activation, where we work on activating the energies of each of your 4 bodies to assist you to achieve that perfect health. And in that, we're going to go a little bit deeper into the psychic diet. What is the psychic diet? That is how to eat in such a way that it optimizes your energy and optimizes your weight. Notice I'm not saying lose weight, because we have a very different perspective here. We have a perspective that your body knows what weight it should be. And when you're fighting with your weight, sometimes the set point is not optimized for your body. But sometimes you are actually at the optimum weight, but you're trying to achieve a weight that some arbitrary rule somewhere says you should be X kilos. And it's, why don't we ask your body what you should be? So that's what I mean by the psychic diet, so that you're optimized for energy, so that you can live your life's purpose. Because I think you're here to live your life's purpose, not be 78 kilos or 72 kilos or whatever the heck that some graph says you should be. I don't think that's your purpose. I think you're here. And sometimes when you're doing certain work and at different times of the year, it will be totally appropriate for you to be heavier or lighter as necessary. All right, if you have any questions about anything we've said, I've got 10 minutes and then I've got 10 minutes before I need to jump on my other call. Thank you for joining me here, and I will see you next week somewhere. All righty, till then, bye-bye.